Good morning. Well, we're going to talk about the trip from Delaware to California. This is a hard video to tell. There's so much to it. So, Delaware was bust. I was headed home. I wanted to be near the family. I will tell you this lesson that I learned, and I had heard this before, and many people don't pay attention. When I left California, I lost my father. I lost my job, and I lost my two dogs of 16 years in a 3 or 4 month span. So emotionally, I really don't feel I was stable. I can't even explain it. And many of you have had such dramatic things happen, and they always say, when something like this happens, don't move for a year. I didn't pay attention. I just had to get out. I had to get out. I had to escape. It would be better if I lived with my friend back east who I'd known since I was 17. My mind just blew up and said, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. So my solution was to move to Delaware to be with my friend. And Golden Girls was popular then. I'm thinking we could be Golden Girls. No, it doesn't work that way. She's so different from me. I'm a clean freak. She was a mini hoarder. I mean, it was just a mess. So when I got there, it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. And I really liked Delaware as a state, and I loved the area. The people weren't the nicest I've ever met. I had some bad experiences in Delaware. So anyway, I decided, okay, I just turned 62. I went on early Social Security. I didn't want to be always forced to work all the time. And I knew I would keep working, but I just needed that money. So I decided I needed so much money. When I went across in a car from California to Delaware, it cost me $1,000. I did sleep in my car. I did one motel room. It was $1,000. And I thought, I can easily do this. What I didn't think about was I had sold that car and bought a Silverado truck, and it was loaded till the gills and got very little gas mileage. So I thought, just 1,000. That's all I need, just 1,000. I was interrupted in the trip. A friend was behind in their taxes, and the IRS was threatening them. So they begged me on the way going through if I would stop and do their taxes. And it was quite a few years, let me tell you. That took me quite a while to get all that done. I finally caught them all up, and they got a lot of money back. Didn't have the fines. It turned out good. I'm not going to tell you a lot about that, but when I was there, I came in contact with a member of the family who was on drugs and who decided they hated me. And so, even though I was living there rent-free because I was doing all these taxes, which would have cost thousands of dollars for this person to do. So the deal was I would be rent-free. I'd help with the groceries and stuff, but I wouldn't have to pay rent. So in the meantime, things escalated. This person didn't realize what I was doing. It was just between me and my friend, and started threatening me. And at the end, the threats were really bad. They just wanted me out of the house. So I decided in a rush that after the last threat, it was getting serious. I needed to leave. I'd finished everything, so she and I'd had an agreement, but that agreement just went out the window. So I finished the taxes, and I immediately left under threat of my life. So we're not going to go into that. No, it's not. It's an issue that I just don't discuss. But anyway, I took off, and I had again 1,000. I think it was $1,200. And mind you, that took me like over a year to do. So I take off, and a friend says to me on the way, if you have a problem, let me know and I'll give you money if you run out. I said, oh, no, I'm not going to run out. It only cost $1,000, and I've already come from, I've come a third of the way. So I get to Oklahoma, and I've run out of money. And I'm at a truck stop in Oklahoma, and I have enough money for food, a little bit of food and water. And you got to have water in Oklahoma in the summer, trust me. So I'm at this truck stop, and I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? I was watching my bank account go down, go down. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I have another 2 weeks to get my Social Security. So I can't get a hold of my friend. I don't want to call my son. So I decide I'm going to hawk my jewelry. I saw a pawn shop, and I started hawking my jewelry. And as I'd get $180 or, whatever, by the time I got back to California, I'd hacked all my jewelry. But in the meantime, I did have my friend. I finally got a hold of her, and she did send me some money. So I didn't get every bit hawked. But that's what I did to get back home. She sent me a bunch of money, and she said, oh, no, 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 no. I owe this for you doing my taxes. So let's just, because she had left the state and gone back to California to take care of her mother. So, I mean, it's a big story. But there was a stop in the middle. That story I may never tell you. That was something else. So I got home. But man, what a trip. I sat for 2 weeks before I decided. I couldn't get a hold of anybody. So I just sat there for 2 weeks in that, and I would just buy my water, and it took me 2 weeks to figure out, oh, I've got my jewelry, I can hawk it. I accidentally saw a sign of a pawn shop, and that's what gave me the idea. Like, oh, I can come up with money. But 2 weeks, I sat in a truck stop for 2 weeks. Nobody bothered me. I was sitting in the front seat of my truck. That's where I slept, sitting up. I would get water. Didn't have any animals, so that was a good thing. And I would just put blankets up on the front windows to get privacy. And if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd go into the truck stop. If I had to have water, it saved me. That truck stop saved me for 2 weeks. And there were tornado warnings. I just had to sit there. Had no money for gas. I had enough money, I guess, to get to the next town. So it was an adventure, let me tell you. And I learned a lesson really hard. I need to think about gas money, because a car is totally different from a loaded truck. I think I was getting 8 miles to the gallon in the truck and 30 to 40 miles in the car. So, yeah. Cost me quite a bit to get back. I think it was almost $3,000, to be honest with you. And the gas had gone up. It was a pretty big mess. But I survived it, you know. I wasn't bothered at the truck stop at all. Now, this was in 2010 or 11, my way home. I got home in 2011. I think it wasn't summer. Was it? I think I stayed a few months with my son, and then it turned to 2011. I think I came back in 2010, but I honestly, it doesn't matter. 1 or 2 of those years, that's when my scam happened. But yeah, that was my trip, and it didn't hurt me. I was 60. I don't know, in my 60s, early 60s. I just, I thought I'd tell you about this trip because it was something else. I didn't have anything in this truck other than a blanket or two. The back was just loaded, and it was a two-seater, so there was no cab. It was a V8 Silverado, Chevy Silverado. It was the best truck ever, 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 ever. Love that truck. That's my story. Yeah, quite a trip, quite a trip, and so much happened on that trip. I had never been threatened before in my life. Somebody was going to kill me. They took all the doors off the inside. So my bedroom, while I was gone to work, they took the door off my bedroom and said I could stab you anytime. I mean, I, I'll have to tell that story some other time because I'm not going to dig into it right now. I've had a life, guys. I've had a life. It's been amazing. Yeah, yeah, been amazing. But someone's always watched over me. I do believe that. I thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great week. Thank you for sharing, watching, and liking. I'll see you next time. Camo. And Camo is for a YouTuber who died 2 years ago who helped me start my channel. A very big, important step for me, who got me to, this is why I have this channel, is Camo Dave.